website then. I just got this in the mail today from Benson Custom Pickups, and it's been a while. I ordered this about 6 weeks ago, I think. I think the lead time on the website, which is, the website's not super up to date. You know, the guy's, working he's by himself, I think, maybe his wife and some few people. So it's a kind of local business kind of thing. So I don't expect too much by the way of keeping up everything. The idea is that it's hand wound pickups, and that's the important thing to me. But for now, this is the box, and to be honest, I've kind of forgotten because it's been a while what's in the box. But again, so I waited about 6 weeks, I think. The lead time on the website was 3 to 4 weeks, but I emailed John and he got back to me, or somebody, got back to me and said that they had a lot of like bulk orders or trade show kind of things, and that they got pretty busy. But communication was great. He got back to me and said, what kind of the holdup was, but that everything was going to get done very soon. I ordered the wiring harness. I was thinking that it would come sort of like on the little board, but it did not. But the wiring looks pretty legit and old school. The cloth wiring. So there's a card. Wow, it's cool. It's a little shiny. Catch the light. There you go. All right, business card. Rock on. So I asked him to relic the magnets for me, and also I wanted grease bucket, circuit, and treble bleed. So it looks like he did all that. I'm gonna have to undo all the nice packaging here. Kudos for a good packaging job. So let me do all that and then I'll show you. Okay, so here's what we got. I'm just gonna pick this up. Maybe you can see the magnet poles are a little relicked. They're not sort of uniform or rusty, which I kind of like. I didn't necessarily want to be like that. And, I didn't know exactly what I was getting, but it's kind of cool. They're kind of spotty and not too shiny, which is good. And there's just some random rust spots. So it doesn't look overdone, and they don't look, they don't look new, which is great. There's little rubber pieces on here. So instead of springs, I'm not sure what's more vintage correct. I looked it up at one point, but I don't remember. The wiring, again, is the cloth. Looks really good. Vintage. The fiber bobbins. The pots look good. I don't know how to tell if they're CTS or not, but I have no reason to believe that they're not. And then I can't remember what the switch is, but everything's supposed to be top notch. And I believe, turn this around. Yeah, so I believe that these little guys here are the treble bleed, and then the bigger ones are the grease bucket. But don't quote me on that. I'm really bad with electronics, and hopefully I don't screw up putting this in the guitar. It shouldn't be too many things to solder. I've got the to solder the input jack, obviously. Undo that, resolder it, and then the ground wire to the spring cavity, the claw, and let me grab the guitar to just compare the plastic. So there you go, there's the guitar with the Fender branded. I think these are off-white, not off-white, aged white. The pickguard is mint green, and this probably isn't the best lighting to show you, but aged white, I think, is the pickup covers, the Fender, and the knob here, and these guys in the box, which I can put on just to kind of give an idea. So aged white, and then the Benson covers are a little lighter. They maybe, as far as the lightness of them, between the pickup covers, the Fender ones, and the mint green. I'll probably just stick with the Fender ones just because I like kind of the balance and the offsetness of it. Look at the contrast, I should say. But these aren't bad at all. Actually, they kind of look a little minty, but like I said, I'm probably going to stick with the Fender ones. Forgot to mention the G pole pieces. It's a vintage stagger, except the G pole pieces are down a little bit. So that's kind of what they look like. That's kind of what I specified as far as the pickup heights, the magnet heights. And then these are, I'll show you, these are the 63 set, neck, middle, and bridge. I don't think I ordered anything special for the bridge. I debated it, but think I kept it the way that he has his normal set. One thing I don't see is, unless I'm missing something, I don't see a treble bleed on this pot, volume pot. So I'm gonna have to check that out further, but that's a little disappointing if I don't have that. I wanted to point out another small issue I ran into with the pickup covers. This is the Benson one, or the one that came with the Benson pickups. This is the Fender one. When I went to screw on or replace the Benson one with the Fender one, I noticed that the screws were not going in to the bobbins like they should. And so what I realized was that these are, I think, sort of an import style, in that they're wider slightly. I don't know that you'll be able to tell, or if I will be able to show you, but they're slightly, just ever so slightly wider. But that doesn't matter as much, and they may be the same with that regard, but what does matter is the screw hole dimension. So my solution is that I've had to get a round file. I didn't have to get one, I had one, and I just had to go in here with the Fender one and just start reaming it out, because the screw holes were on the bobbins. If this file is the screw hole, they're just like slightly, and I'm exaggerating, but they're further, you know, and so it's not having good clearance. So that's one issue I'm having to deal with. Not that big of a deal, but you know, it would be nice if they were the same, but you know, no big deal. Okay, first step I have to do in any sort of soldering for this thing is to remove the wires from the output jack. So I just have to remember that the white goes on the outside and the black goes on the inside. And I've got my soldering iron set up. It's not the best. It's, you know, it's like a hobby soldering iron. I think it's 30 watts. But it does have a fresh tip, which is good. So I don't think I need to tin these wires for any reason. I just need to heat it up enough where I can get the wires off. So there's one wire.
I like what you do, girl, you light up the room, but I never thought that I
could flip this over for the other wire just to make it easier to get to.
My chances.
And there's the other one. Okay, next I've got to somehow fish these output jack wires through the hole over here and into the output jack cavity. So we're going to try that as best we can. I have no idea how this is going to go. Could be long and tedious.
Give you my best and then some, 'cause you are the light of my life, and you make every day worthwhile, and I can't imagine life without you, and I never won't.
Alright, they're close. Okay, I actually did it. I got both of them through in maybe 5 tries. So that's good. Could have been a lot worse. So again, white goes to the outside, black goes to the inside. And I may have to use a little bit more solder, but we will see.
You are brighter, the summer season more beautiful, when autumn leaves make my heart burst forth like a flower in spring, and you keep me warm from the cold that winter can bring. You're the best part of me.
Okay, there's that. Forgot that I actually had a jack on this input jack plate, or output jack plate, sorry. So I could have soldered to this, I guess, but now I have to, anyway, I have to put the jack into this plate. So we're gonna go with the washer on the bottom of the plate and the nut on the top. which I've already got the nut off of there.
When God made you, he must have broke the mold. So naturally, when I met you, I struck gold. I won't take.
Sorry, I know my hand's in the way.
Granted.
Yeah, so something like that. I don't have a super great tool to tighten the nut on this, so I just use a pair of needle nose pliers. You know, this one is supposed to be a Relic guitar anyway, so I don't care too much if I, you know, scratch up the nut or something like that, or even the plate. But I do want to get it nice and tight because it sucks when those things come loose. Okay, these two wires here, one is going to go through, I'll show you this hole right here. It's going to go to the back of this guitar, to the spring cavity, the spring claw, and it's going to solder to that, which is going to be kind of a beast because typically I think you need like a 40, 50 watt soldering iron, and this is all I have. It's a 30, so I'm going to see if it'll work, but we'll get to that later. My camera died, I didn't have enough battery to film it, but I just put this through one of these cap things. You know, I have a bag of them here, and I put a little bit of solder on the end of it. That I crimped it down with some needle nose pliers, but I put the solder on there just to be safe, have some peace of mind. And I think I'm going to put it like right here. This would be an ideal spot, but I don't know how thick the body is right there. And I definitely don't want to go through the body there because that would show. Here is in the back of the guitar at the spring cavity, and for some reason I go through. This is the screw I'm going to use. It may not be the best, but it's pretty short. And you have to consider the thickness of this lug too. So hopefully it won't go through. I don't think it will. And it's self-tapping, I believe. So I'm just going to bear down and push it in there. That's where that's going to go, and then we'll get to the other one, the other ground, in a minute. And this basically shields the guitar. It connects the shielding in the back to the shielding on the pickguard and ties it all together. Okay, I was able to get the pickguard on the body with fairly minimal effort. It didn't go in, or it didn't go down completely smoothly. I think that actually the volume pot is pretty close to the cavity right here, and then there's a lot of wires that run down, you know, obviously from the neck to the middle to the bridge, and they all pass through this cavity here, so things are kind of bunched up in this area. But I'm going to put maybe a couple of screws in just to hold it, and then flip it over and see what I can do about the spring claw. I think I've scratched this up enough. It's hard to get good lighting. I took some sandpaper and a nail and I went to town, but I don't know if I even scratched the surface. We'll see. Okay, I was able to get it on. What I did was just, you know, I've got this chisel tip which helps to, you know, make a lot of contact, and I just held it on there for a pretty good long time and make sure it got really hot. And then I didn't really drip the solder on. I, you know, put it on. I kind of pushed it in between the chisel tip and the actual trim claw. So, you know, I think it's a good joint. It's got some brown around the edges, which I don't know, but it is shiny and it's not coming off with some pressure and some force. So I think we're good to go. All right, now we got the real moment of truth. I got this thing plugged up for the first time. My amp is buzzy, so that's what that noise is coming from, I believe. Yeah, so anyway, so let's put it up with the neck pickup. We're good there. Nothing's coming through there. Position 4. That's good. Middle. Well, let's check. All right. Middle should have nothing there. Nothing there. Good there. Position 2. Good. And then bridge. All right. So volume. Should be good. Sweet. And the tone, I don't know if I can get it good. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a good accuracy with that. But I forgot the middle tone does not have a tone control, so that's good. That's getting darker there. And then we'll go up to the neck. All right, sweet. Looks like everything's working. Now I do have to go in and put in the treble bleed on the volume pot. So that kind of sucks, but I think in the meantime, because the materials, so to speak, the resistor and the capacitor aren't going to get here until maybe another week. So during that time, I think I'm going to string it up again, maybe set up the pickup height and all that good stuff, and just play it and enjoy it, see how it works. So yeah, and then once I put the treble bleed in, I'll try to document that as best I can.